What about now? How about now? One, two, three, one, two, three. One, two, three, one, two, three. How about now? Do you hear me now? No sound. Okay. Okay. Max DWW. No sound right now. Do you hear my voice? Do you hear my voice? Yeah, great. Alrighty. So thank you so much for joining in. This is the Freedom is Not Free channel and our weekly live stream where we're going to talk about the current affairs, and today's topic is also related to the CCP infiltration and why do those little pinkies, why do they behave like Neanderthals? Why do they behave like crazy people anytime anything good happens to Taiwan? You know, during those international competitions, you see Taiwan winning, you see those Taiwanese athletes, or you see some good news about Taiwan, right? Like the new inventions or some popular artists coming out of Taiwan. And those little pinkies, they become crazy about it. They become very unhappy about it. And they're saying, Taido, even like last time during the choir competition in New Zealand, there was a Taiwanese choir that won. And those pinkies were crazy. They were running around. They were spraying their spit and they were screaming, "We don't want Taiwan independence." That's not your business, dear. Taiwan is an independent country. So, yeah, today we're going to talk about the victim mentality and why do those little pinkies consider themselves victims even though that they're bullies. And I think that the victim mentality is it's going to be very interesting if we are going to cover some issues of current politics, and current politics mostly on the left, where everybody wants to be a victim. Right now, everybody wants to say that he, she, they is being discriminated against, right? Based on any kind of thing. And this is not, and this is what the CCP likes to use. And this is what the CCP likes to use. I mean, the Western countries right now, not only the United States, but the United States is probably the biggest, the freest, the most developed nation on earth, the greatest country on earth that provides you as many opportunities as no one provides. As no one provides. I'm always very jealous of American people. You guys have the strongest country. You guys have the most entrepreneurial mindset. It is not hard to earn money if you're willing to work hard to earn it. And this is what America is. And right now, even the United States, people see discrimination, people see mistreatment everywhere. Even the mistreatment doesn't exist in some of the cases, in some of the areas. I mean, there will be people saying, yeah, that's because you're white or whatever. This is also interesting, like that identity politics thingy, because I mean, dividing people by skin color, I also think it's even more divisive, because it doesn't look at your ethnicity, it doesn't look at your cultural background, because there are black people, there are white people, there are Asian people, but they're all very different. I mean, even in Africa, you see, okay, you see one country, Nigeria, there are multiple ethnicities, each of them having their own culture, their own language, their own everything. In Europe, white people, Polish people, and Irish people and Italians also were not considered white up until like middle 20th century, right? Then there is no history of Polish colonialism, for example. Poland didn't colonize anyone, and you say like Polish, like white people are racist and so on and so forth. But Poland has never colonized anyone. Poland has been colonized by Russia, by Germany, Prussia, basically, by Austria-Hungary. And Asia is also very different. You have a very multi-ethnic China, which is controlled by the CCP right now. But there is no such thing as like a single Chinese nation. There are multiple ethnicities with different languages, with very developed and very unique cultures. There is also Taiwan, which is its own thing, which is like a melting pot of some southern men, Japanese, Pacific Islanders, and some European culture. Like it's a mix. Then there is Japan, which is also unique. Like all of the countries, all of the nations are unique. And yes, we used to have very bad history. We did, and Western countries did a lot of bad things. But right now, even historically, yes, of course, there was mistreatment, there was slavery, there were terrible things that happen. Right now, it is not the Western countries who you should be afraid of, but the countries like Russia and China, who are actively committing genocides right now. China is genociding Uyghur people, Tibetans, and Russia is genociding Ukrainians. Russia is mass murdering Ukrainians, and this is terrible. And what I wanted to talk to you about, because that victim mentality is interesting, because every time we hear that there is some anti-China or anti-Russia propaganda, but what China has been doing during the 20th century, occupying independent countries like East Turkestan, like Tibet, challenging the independence of the other countries, like they do against Taiwan, occupying the lands that belong to different countries like India. So then they have been committing cultural genocide and the real genocide, mass repressions. It's a modern day colonial empire, and look what they do in the South China Sea, in the Southern Sea, against the Philippines, against Indonesia, against Malaysia, against Vietnam, against those multiple countries. It's a bully, and they say that they have been humiliated, everybody hates them, everybody is against them. And this victim mentality, it works pretty well, because anytime you're talking to a Westerner and say, oh, you are racist, everyone is so afraid of being called a racist because of that history, because of that everything. But the problem is, if you look inside China and how deeply racist is that society, how they mistreat Black people, for example, or how they mistreat any kind of different people, like Central Asians, like South Asian people. It's the most racist society that exists nowadays. You cannot compare it to apartheid in South Africa. You cannot compare it to the segregation times in the United States. But per what we see right now, also Uyghur people are not. They are either forced to be Sinicized, basically become Chinese and forget everything that is related to their culture, or they're put in those concentration camps. This is genocide. And look how they treat Black people in Guangzhou, for example. Like when the pandemic happened, they just kicked Black people out of their homes, kicked them on the streets, and said that you go back to Africa. This is what China is doing right now against the Black people. Look how they treat Black people in Africa, where they established their enterprises and where poor people live in their work as slaves. For example, in Congo, on all of those rare earth material factory. So yeah, we have a very big problem here. And anytime they're trying to say there is victim mentality, every time they're trying to say, oh yeah, you Westerners have been attacking us, have been colonizing us. Yeah, but what I can say, Poland has never colonized China. Poland has not colonized anyone. They say, you Westerners have been discriminated against China. Poland has never. No, my country has never done it. Like that's what I can say. My country has never done it, and I have nothing to do with and my family has nothing to do with those unfair treatment to Chinese people. For example, in the United States, during the what act was it called? Chinese Exclusion Act. Yeah, it is a racist policy, but sorry, Poland has nothing to do with that. My country has nothing to do with that. That's one thing. Secondly, if we go deeper into those issues, because everyone is being so much afraid of being accused in any kind of intolerance, any kind of phobia, any kind of mistreatment. So even if those accusations are baseless, people are just, okay, I'd better not say anything because I'm going to be portrayed as a hateful person. Okay. Then you say that the Europeans or Americans mistreat Chinese people, but what about your treatment of Taiwanese people? Why don't you allow Taiwanese people to say that they're Taiwanese? Why do you have death penalty for those people who support Taiwan's independence, basically me, no matter what country you come from? And why do you say that everybody is so much anti-China when you are pretty much anti-everyone? I'm talking to the CCP and their supporters. Why? And every time there is a scandal, okay, like performance enhancers, like those Olympic games, when those athletes are using illegal drugs to improve their performance, why Every time it is, oh, that's because everyone is racist towards China. But no, they're using performance enhancers. And sometimes people are actually listening to that kind of mentality. Taiwan won. Okay. Congrats to Taiwan. Taiwan number one. Go, go, go. Taiwan, go, go, go. Great. So, yeah. And all of this kind of rhetoric comes from the left mostly, like that victim mentality and portraying themselves as victims. And when we are facing big challenges, we have to say that A is an A and B is a B, and that China is acting as a colonial empire. This is not against any of the Chinese people. There are many Chinese people that know what's going on in China, that they don't support the CCP. But the government that represents China, the CCP government, they're acting like 19th century empire. Or you can compare it to totalitarian regimes of early 20th century. It is pretty similar. Rabid nationalism, portraying themselves as victims of the outside world. Everybody hates us, like that kind of mentality, and mobilizing the people, forcing them to serve in the military, militarization of the society, and that all leads to outward expansionism, occupying the other countries. Same thing is going on with Russia. Very similar thing is going on with Russia. So, yeah, we see that kind of thing. And why do I want to talk about the victim mentality? Because every time a Taiwanese person succeeds, Taiwanese people are also Asian. They're also Asian. Those pinkies, they just become rabid. They become rabid. Just, I wanted to show you one video. Just wait a second. Here is a video from the Olympic Games. Yeah. You know that unfortunately, Taiwanese people are not allowed to bring their flags onto those competitions. And it is very unfair because there are 3 countries that cannot bring their flags. Country number 1 is Russia, which is actively committing genocide against Ukraine. Country number 2 is Belarus, who is supporting Russia in that. And country number 3 is Taiwan, a democratic country that never did anything wrong. They have been building a democratic and a free society, and they're not allowed to bring their flags. Right now, it became even worse because you not only cannot bring your flag, but you also cannot bring anything that states Taiwan. Like this lady, she made a banner saying "Taiwan 加油," basically "Go go Taiwan, go go Taiwan," wishing all the best to Taiwanese athletes. And we see there is that person working for the a volunteer, or I don't know, an employee there. He's asking if something like that should be allowed during the competition. And let's watch this video. It's not long. One moment. Yeah, they're screaming "Taiwan 加油" and "领养加油," meaning supporting the athletes. These are their last names. They won. They just won. Congrats. You see, there is a person trying to stand in front of her and block this banner. Then he approaches her and yeah, this is the CCP's behavior, and this is the CCP supporters' behavior. The Olympics should not get involved in politics. Exactly. I agree. And the people are bringing Taiwanese flags. What's the problem with that? What's political about that? I don't think that there is anything political about that. Okay. And they're portraying it as they're standing for their country and supporting China, and they're challenging the independence of Taiwan. Well, China has never controlled over Taiwan. China has never established any kind of control over Taiwan. Taiwan has its own government, its own political system, its own monetary system, its own military, its own army. There is no single country on earth when you have a separate army from the army of the state. This is not how it works. And Taiwanese army treats China as its enemy because China is its enemy. So Taiwan has everything Taiwanese, which is not related to the PRC government, not in any way, shape, or form. And the PRC government doesn't get the taxes from Taiwan. Taiwanese people don't pay taxes to the commies. So, yeah. And those pinkies when they see anyone supporting Taiwan, they try to beat them, they try to hit them, they try to grab their things. Like last time I've been to London, and a friend of mine has been holding Taiwanese flag, waving it and filming a video. And then out of the blue comes that Pinky and kicks me. And then he tries to grab my microphone because I've been interviewing people at the time. I told in Mandarin that that's very impolite of you. Why do you hit people while walking on the streets? And then he started swearing, like all kind of swearing. Then he tried to grab the microphone again, but then he saw that there were many people around, and he ran away, flipping a couple of birds on the way. So this is your standard reaction. Last time I've also been at the protests in Geneva, basically calling for Taiwan to join the World Health Organization. There are also Pinkies coming in, trying to film me and trying to grab my camera and saying things like, "No, it's China. Taiwan is China." No, Taiwan is not China. China is China. If Taiwan is China, try to grab it, but you won't be able to because Taiwan has its own army, and it would be an invasion of an independent country. So there is one thing. Then secondly, what I wanted to show you is that picture. There is a yeah, and this one I will also show you, but this one. You see there is a guy holding it's a scarf. It basically is a scarf, and that worker at the Olympics is trying to grab it. It says Taiwan. It just says Taiwan there. There are no flags. He's trying to grab, as there is a word, Taiwan. Okay, that's one thing. There's another thing. Even Taiwanese candy is not allowed. I know. I just told everyone that Taiwan won. Here, that's a Taiwanese candy. It doesn't say Taiwan anywhere. Anywhere on that candy pack. It also says that that corn that this candy is made of, that this snack is made of, comes from France, and there is a French flag looking banner. So you don't allow French flags anymore during those competitions? This is ridiculous. And I mean, what kind of world do we live in when Taiwan, an independent country, a very good, a very developed, a country that respects human rights, that has done nothing wrong, never abused anyone, never attacked anyone, never occupied anyone, is being treated like a war criminal. You cannot bring Taiwan's flags, you cannot say Taiwan to those Olympic competitions. I think this is extremely discriminatory. That's a discrimination as it is. Same thing as calling Taiwanese people Chinese when they don't identify themselves as Chinese. And this is what China is doing. So this is racist, discriminatory. But as it doesn't fit into those narratives of those tankies and far left terrorists, then no. They never say anything bad about China. They never say anything bad about Russia. They blame America for everything that's going on in the world. But look, America has talking about America. It's not only America. But the United States have, as a country, the US has a very good impact on this world, from the technological development to promotion of human rights, rebuilding the states after the Second World War. It's a good country that is trying its best to reach the world peace. And believe me, nobody in China wants to live in China. They all want to live in the US. Because every time, right now, there is a big problem at the southern border, right? You see how many Chinese people are getting into the United States right now illegally, running out of poverty, running out of persecution, trying to get to the country where can they live as people and not as slaves of the CCP. If everybody wanted to live in China or in Russia or in Iran, we wouldn't have seen so many Iranians, Russians, Chinese, people on the US-Mexico border trying to sneak into the United States illegally. Because the United States guarantees your basic freedom. Basic freedom. And it is better to be an illegal in the US than a normal citizen in China. That's for sure. That's for sure, because in China, they can arrest you anytime. They can put you into prison anytime. You have no human rights, no freedom of speech. You cannot even express your disagreement with the government. If you write something to your parents, to your family members, a person from the police might be at your door next time. If you go to websites like YouTube, where I'm streaming to right now, you might also have problems because it is illegal to use websites like YouTube that are outside of the Chinese internet. So yeah, that's the point. And that victim mentality, it comes into, philosophically speaking, it has only one goal. It has only one, maybe not only one, but it's all in the same direction. First of all, to grab attention. I'm a victim, I've been mistreated. Look at me. Grab attention. Secondly, I'm a victim, I need attention. Look at me. And I need compensation. I'm not only in need of attention, I'm also in need of compensation, some kind of compensation. And this compensation would be, in China's case, let China cheat. Let China cheat, because there has been opium wars more than 100 years ago. So now let China cheat because China used to be bullied by the United Kingdom. I don't see any logic here. And the country that was bullied by the United Kingdom, it was not called China per se. It was called Qing Empire, run by the Manchurian dynasty. Right now, people having nothing in common with the People's Republic of China. Like, different government, different country, everything different. So yeah, and many people even in Taiwan are in support of this kind of rhetoric. I wanted to show you one video. I will translate it. It is done by a Taiwanese lady who is a dentist. Yeah, who's a dentist, but yeah. Because there is that swimmer. There's that swimmer in China who is being accused of using illegal drugs and performance boosters right now. And even those accusations, they are being portrayed by some people, like this lady, as being racist and discriminatory. So they never address any racism facing Taiwanese people, for example, or facing Uyghur people, or facing Tibetans. No. It's only racism when it is against Chinese people. But when it is any other kind of ethnicities, nations, then no, it's not racist anymore.
当菲尔普斯在北京奥运斩获8金，还有 Liang Meshang 在今年巴黎奥运横扫泳池的时候，媒体都
Okay, first of all, she's talking about the other athletes. One is American, probably, and another one is French. That nobody is asking when those Westerners actually get their gold medals.
将他们誉为世界最佳，
and are calling them like the greatest.
唯独潘展乐以碾压之，
But Pan Zhanle, like that athlete from China, when he wins,
夺得男子100米自由泳金。
it's like freestyle 100 meters competition.
牌之后，还是被很多白人酸民
There are many white haters, internet white haters,
质疑吃药了。
thinking that he has used some medicine.
我觉得这样子的质疑是莫须有，也间接
And this is
反映了其实白人不太相信黄种。
This shows one thing, that the white people, they don't believe Asian people. She uses 黄种人 here. In Mandarin, it doesn't sound as racist as if you use like yellow, the color yellow, but it basically means like yellow type people. But this means Asians. This means Asians in Mandarin. So
种人能够在游泳比赛吊打他们，
and they don't believe that those kind of those Asian athletes can win during, like, those white haters don't believe that those Asian haters those white haters don't believe that Asian athletes can win in fair competition. Yeah, sorry.
其实我觉得我有类似的体
And I
验。
have a similar experience.
过。我之前去德
When I
国，
went
然
to
后
Germany, and then I don't want to show the whole video. She's talking about different positions and different opinions in dentistry. When you're correcting your teeth, like the orthodontist, when they do it, some of them prefer to let your upper jaw go more outwards and the inner jaw and not touch inner jaw mostly. But in her opinion, it would be better to make inner jaw smaller and basically put it backwards here and not touch upper jaw. But I will explain you in a moment. First of all, let's address that kind of people. Every time you are you're having doubts in the fairness of competition and if those people have been using illegal drugs to win, here is the problem. It is not only about it is not about Asians. It's not about any skin color or any ethnicity. Nobody trusts Russians because Russians cheated in 2014 Olympics. Russia's population is mostly white. It is mostly white. They're mostly white people. There are different ethnic minorities. It's diverse, but it's mostly white. They cheated during the 2014 Olympics, and that's why they couldn't compete in the following Olympics, because they have used like the state-sponsored illegal drug and performance enhancement system. Nobody trusts Russians. Russians are white. At the same time, it's not the question of if that person is Asian or not, because there are many Asians winning gold in swimming. Look at the other countries like Japan, Korea, the Philippines, like name any. Nobody would have any doubts if a person didn't have the previous history of cheating, and if that person came from a country that doesn't have a state-sponsored system of cheating, which China does. So the problem is with that Mr. Pan, that the problem is not that he's Asian or that he's Chinese per se, because there are many ethnically Chinese people coming from the other countries winning gold and nobody asking any questions. But the problem is that he comes from the People's Republic of China, and there is a history of cheating in that country. So it's not related to skin color at all. At all. At all. Russians are also not allowed to take part in those Olympics. Russians are white. Mostly. So yeah, this is the ridiculousness of that. And anytime China does something bad, like last time in the UK, there was a mass hacker attack of China-sponsored hacker groups against the election committee, against some of the MPs, against the database of the United Kingdom's. Wait a second, was it military or air force? Don't remember, but defense related. Okay. The first thing the Chinese embassy said, "Don't be racist. It's racist. It's racist. It's all about racism. It's because because the Chinese, the hackers are Chinese. It doesn't mean that we're involved in something like that. No, it means actually the thing that a hacker group coming from China and sponsored by the state has been stealing information and hacking into the United Kingdom's state systems." Nobody is accusing anyone because of they're Chinese, but because they're CCP affiliated, the government and the country. And this is the problem with the CCP and with their victim mentality, because they want to represent the Chinese people, which they have no right to, because they have got into power illegally. They have no people support, the CCP people. They have no election system in China. Whoever is the chairman is the chairman, and 2,000 people within the CCP select their chairman. Chinese people have no right to vote, even though their constitution provides them with the right to elect and to be elected, but they don't have that right in reality. There's 2,000 people who voted for Xi Jinping to become third-term dictator, and the country of China is 1 billion and 400 million, 1.4 billion. Yeah, more or less. So yeah, so the problem is not with the athlete because he is from an Asian country, or not because he's Chinese, but because he is working for the CCP. He is affiliated with the Chinese government. Same thing. And right now, when the United States, when the Congress wants to start investigation into Chinese illegal drugs and performance enhancers and doping scandal, the Olympic Committee stands by China and says, "Oh yeah, if U.S. Congress does that kind of thing, we will cancel the Salt Lake City Olympics." This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous and extremely stupid. And the problem with that kind of victim mentality is it is working. Right now, it is so easy to be canceled in any of the Western countries. You say one word that can be wrongly interpreted, and you lose all of your platforms. And you will be called names, and you will be well, some people just ended their lives after being canceled. And China knows how to use that. And China knows how to use that because the first thing China does is they say, this is racist. Anytime you accuse Chinese government of anything, they will say it is racist, it is anti-Chinese. And coming back to the thing that I have discussed during my last live stream, our country is the greatest country. Our country has been humiliated for a very long time, and we are in the most dangerous time period right now. Those three things, it's not my invention. It's what Mr. Yaitaki, a very well-known in Taiwan Japanese journalist, this is how he described the rhetoric going on within those totalitarian states, including China, including Russia. And this is what they do to mobilize the people around them. And this kind of mobilization, as I said before, it's fear-based. Because even though Chinese people know how ridiculous is that, but because there are spies everywhere, there are minders everywhere, there's CCPs, agents everywhere, they're afraid to say anything against the Chinese government because they will also be not only canceled, but probably murdered in China. So yeah, and sometimes, yeah, like this lady, like this dentist, she said, and she wanted to say that a different opinion on a medical case coming from her German professor is also based on racism. But I'm not a doctor. But my wife is currently adjusting her teeth here in Poland. And let me tell you what, like the main concern, that this is what she told me, so take it for what it is, that Taiwanese dentist, she might have had the thought that you'd better like narrow down the lower jaw, might be related to some of the beauty standards in Taiwan or in other Asian countries, that you should have a small face and your lower jaw should be small. But for a German doctor, probably the health concern and to keep as many teeth as it is possible was the main concern. That's why he thought it's better not to narrow down the lower jaw so that you won't have to pull any of the teeth over there, but to actually extend the upper jaw. Maybe, I don't know, but it was coming from a doctor, and it's just a different opinion coming from different experiences, right? And I don't think it's also race related to any kind. Let's stop trying to let's stop looking for discrimination where discrimination doesn't exist. I think like that's probably the most important outcome of today's video. That's the problem with the left. The problem with the right is also the current political correctness and like the overall like leftist government's policies have got some issues with transgender people taking part in women's sports. There is such a problem, but like Leah Thomas, for example, in the United States. And there are legitimate concerns because if you're a biological male, of course you will have advantages competing against a woman. But when those concerns, they're valid. They're valid. But when, because of those concerns, you are right now asking questions about real biological women, like Lin Yuting from Taiwan, this is also very bad. She's an innocent woman who got targeted, and got targeted why? There's a couple of reasons. Reason number one, because she's Taiwanese. China wants to attack Taiwan. And secondly, she was targeted by a Russian organization, IBA, guy with the last name Kremlev. guy from the Kremlin. And the main sponsor of the IBA is Gazprom, like Russian natural gas company. And Russia cannot take part in the Olympic Games. So they want to do everything that is possible to undermine and to make those Olympic Games look like non-valid, like all the Western systems being rigged, and the overall political correctness and problems like that. Like during that opening ceremony, when a guy's balls fell out of his underwear, almost non-existent underwear, and there was a little girl standing next to him. This is bad. But let's look at every issue separately. There is a shady organization called IBA, infiltrated by Russia, getting money from Russia, having a Russian boss, like a Russian head, Russian president of that company, going to Putin together to China, receiving a medal from Putin, being sponsored by the Russian state-owned companies. And they're filing accusations, not providing any reports, any valid reports, actually proving that Lin Yuting is a man. She's not. And right now, some of the conservatives, like, in Mandarin, there is a saying, 见到黑影就开枪. You see a shadow and you fire a gun. No, it should be scrutinized. You should go into the details and look what is the problem there. And that organization is shady, and they're not even providing their report proving that Lin Yuting is not a woman. And you conservatives, you believe in that just because it fits into that agenda saying that men right now can compete in women's sports. No, this is not how it works. Lin Yuting, the Taiwanese lady, she has been taking part in world competitions for a very long time. She took part in the last Olympics in Tokyo. Nobody has been asking if her gender is not right, if she's a man or whatever. I think it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. Because those concerns, they're legitimate. And sometimes people are saying, okay, yeah, then let's let her go through some other tests. Why? You have an unproven accusation coming from an organization that cannot even show us the test reports. And then you say, yeah, you do more tests. Why? I mean, I'm walking on the street. Somebody says, you are not human, you're an alien. And now I have to prove that I'm an alien? The guy having no proof that I'm an alien. I'm not an alien. So, an accusation coming from a person on the street, not providing any legitimate evidence, why should it be addressed to begin with? Why? Even though I do hate the International Olympic Committee, but the bigotry coming up from some people on the right now, I consider myself a conservative. But the meaning of conservatives, you have to be fair. It's fair treatment. Otherwise, you're not different from those communists, leftists, and socialists. Right? So yeah, there are problems on both of the sides of the political spectrum. So yeah, here are the topics I wanted to discuss with you today. What else happened? This week, I've made a video on Venezuela and the protests in Venezuela, and how Venezuelan people have been struggling for their freedom, have been doing its best to actually let Maduro, the dictator, leave. Yeah, because Argentina is supporting Venezuela right now. President Milei is supporting Venezuela. And I have interviewed a Venezuelan activist, Rafael Struve, about what's going on the ground, because he knows about the political parties, about the political system, about the rigged elections, and actually how China is infiltrating countries like Venezuela, and why China is why is China so invested in Venezuela. And what is interesting, guys, the Venezuelan fatherland card, like that sounded so Chinese, 祖国卡. Fatherland card was created by a company called ZTE. A Chinese company, Zhongxing. and the level of infiltration. And right now, Maduro stays in power mostly because he has vast support of the Chinese Communist Party and has a lot of money coming from the Chinese Communist Party. So yeah, go watch that video. It's a very good video. I will cut the previous part of the stream because I don't want to mislead you. yeah, sorry. That's my second live stream during today. Yeah. Any other topics you want to discuss? Next week we'll see how the situation is developing, and maybe there is something else we can talk about. And right now I'm getting ready to my trip to the United States. Going to participate in some events, advocate for Taiwan, meet some people, make some videos, maybe attend a couple of rallies. I want to go to some of the American rallies, both on the right and the left, both to the Democrats and to Republicans, and ask them what they think about Taiwan. And if they think that their presidential candidate, would it be Kamala Harris or would it be Donald Trump, will support Taiwan. Will you do a collab with Lola Farley? I'm pretty much open to that. Yeah, Lola is a nice guy. Yeah, I know him. We're in contact. He's great and he supports Taiwan. And I do suggest you guys subscribe to Lola Farley's channel. It's very good. It's very good, very funny. We'll be coming to Colorado. Nah, we'll be on the East Coast this time. Man, I haven't been to. I have relatives in California, and I haven't been to California for 5 years already. Oh my god, I miss the West Coast so much, even though it's going to hell right now. But I do miss it. Colorado. No, I've never been to Colorado actually. It's right in between. It's right in between. Is it a good time to go to Colorado in September, October time? Wouldn't be. I don't know. I have no idea about Colorado. I've never been there. You know, the mountains are beautiful, and there's like beautiful city of Aspen where you can go snowboarding or skiing. Very, very nice. Very nice. Colorado. So there's some. Have some friends from Colorado. Nice. Yeah, the only thing I know about Colorado is nature there is extremely beautiful, like very beautiful. And the climate is pretty arid, which is good. Yeah, I've heard it's beautiful in Colorado during the winter. Yeah. I know that they have a lot of ski resorts there. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, Board says. I love that movie. But why is Board speaking like when he says hello, like his character, why is he speaking Polish? Like this is also funny. And yeah, it's ridiculous. Saying jak się masz. like it's funny. Saying dziękuję instead of thank you. They filmed it in Romania, I think, like the movie. The actor is from England. They're performing like the character is from Kazakhstan, and they speak Polish sometimes, and sometimes it either was Armenian or another or kind of different language. Yeah, Borat. Yeah, pretty funny. Okay, let me take a look at the comments. Okay, Taiwan English. Yeah, got it. Taiwan won. Great, congrats to Taiwan. Okay, I've read this one before. Did they kick out that robber? Yeah, they did. Like the guy who ripped the flag out of women's hands. He was actually wearing pink. Yeah, that's why he's a pinky. Shame on France for allowing this. Do better, France. I think it's not the problem. The problem is not in France allowing it to happen, but France actually doing it. Because I think that the volunteer who has been kicking those Taiwanese people out or taking those candies out, they all work for the Olympics. And most of them French, per what I understand, because France is the host country. So yeah, they should do better. I reckon she got paid by the CCP. You see, you mean that lady? I think it's not necessary. So I don't have any proof of that, but the problem here is that some people are paid by the CCP, and there are many people paid by the CCP. But when you watch a lot of Chinese propaganda and those CCP supporters crying all day of being a victim, of being discriminated against, that nobody likes them, I mean, then some people just buy into it. Then people should just buy into it, and this kind of identity politics is what the Chinese government likes to do. Like last time, I think it was addressing, I think, a Korean official, the foreign minister of China, Wang Yi. He was not the foreign minister at the time. Right now, he's also not a foreign minister. He's like the secretary of foreign affairs within the CCP, because in China, well, it's a topic for a different. Let me see what's Wang Yi's official position right now. Because in China, it is different. You have the governmental positions and you have the party positions. And the party positions are more important now. No, not only now, they have always been more important. Because it's the party that runs the country. Right now, let me see. Because there have been some changes. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay. So, right now he's both the Central Committee Foreign Affairs Commission's head. And that time he only occupied that position. And he also is a Minister of Foreign Affairs and was the Minister of Foreign Affairs from 2013 till 2022. Yeah, Wang Yi. Like that guy. He was like, he's saying some racist shit. Oh, sorry for swearing, but he was saying some racist shit to the Korean people, saying that Koreans do plastic surgery to look more Western, and it doesn't matter how what they do to look more Western, they will be looked down by the Americans, and everyone will be treating them only as Asian Americans. Like very, like, that's so racist, and nobody has been calling Wang Yi out on that. Let me show. I think there was a video of that. Wang Yi, Korean looking Western, like something like that. Okay. Yeah. It was on the Business Insider. Let me show you. Let's just read through this news. Let's just have a conversation on that, because it's related to the victim mentality topic. Okay. Sad that Japanese and South Koreans can dye their hair blonde and make their noses sharper, but they will never become Westerners, urging them to work with Beijing instead. Yeah. How racist is that? Hey, my leftist friends, why don't you call this man out? Why don't you call Wang Yi out on that? This is extremely racist towards the Japanese people and towards Koreans. Why? Why don't you speak about this kind of? Yeah, I don't even think that he's a human. He's a devil. He's a communist devil, because he has blood on his hands, and he probably is one of the oldest little pinks within the Chinese Communist Party. Just a racist piece of shit. Sorry, but he is. Yeah. Gotta go, Stan. Thanks for the info. Good stream. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay. Great. So, yeah, this is what I wanted to share with you today. He's a shit. Yeah, he is. Emperor Xi Jinping says, yeah, he is. He is. Like all of those CCP members. So, yeah. And I think it's very important to call out and to expose those CCP little pinkies, CCP trolls, CCP supporters, and the system of infiltration within the Western countries and the Eastern countries, within all of the democratic countries, by the Chinese Communist Party. I've been streaming for almost an hour, and I think for today it's going to be enough. Support Venezuela, support Taiwan, stay strong. Just gonna edit the video a little bit. But honestly, I was talking about Argentina so much because I love Milei. I'm probably his biggest fan in Poland. He's amazing. Like he's my favorite politician, not only in the Western Hemisphere, but probably all around the world. Yeah, like Milei says, "Viva la libertad, carajo!" Amazing. Just love this guy. We need more politicians like Milei, like that really do understand how the economy works, and that really do understand how it is important to stand up towards those unfriendly ideologies and to all those forces that want to ruin our countries. Yeah. So yeah, stay strong, Argentina, stay strong, Venezuela, stay strong, Taiwan. I just found this channel, by the way. Didn't know it. It is already 3 years old. Let me tell you what, this channel, I've launched it 3 years ago. Yeah, I was publishing some videos, and then there was a long pause. Haven't been publishing here I've been uploading for like more than a year, almost 2 years. So yeah. Pete, you should go there. It's expensive. I can't afford it. It's very expensive. No. I don't know. Maybe if Taiwanese Argentinian organization invites me, and the problem is I don't speak Spanish. Like not at all. I need someone to actually show me around. So yeah, I would be glad to if there are some Argentinian Taiwanese who would like to show me around. Yeah, and maybe if there is an opportunity, I don't know, to have a conversation, to deliver a speech, to make some videos, maybe some promotional stuff. Yeah, feel free to contact me. I'm open to all the opportunities, but just going on my own, it's, first of all, the problem is expensive. I cannot afford it. Even though I really want to go to Argentina, because they want to go to the south of Argentina, which is very close to the to Antarctica. And you see those glaciers and those mountains covered in ice, like awesome. And there is also the northern part of Argentina, which is warm. There are beaches, jungles, like some arid areas. Amazing, like the country that has it all. And I really do like the current Argentinian administration. I do like Mr. Milei. Yeah, I would really like to go there, but first of all, it's so expensive, and secondly, I don't speak any Spanish. And I feel very confused when I go to a country where I don't speak the language. So that's why I don't like going to France, because I don't speak French. I like going to Germany. I go into the Netherlands because I kind of understand a bit of Dutch, and they also speak perfect English. So yeah, I like going to Taiwan because everybody speaks basically my language. And yeah, in Japan also, like the languages I speak, but it's there. Okay, Argentina also got a large community of English speakers in the past. I don't know, how about right now? Well, I need someone to show me around. Basically. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to go there one day. Yeah, and I hope that once Venezuela democratizes, I also want to go there. Really want to go to. Well, I really want to go there. I've never been to South America, and I think it's pretty worth going. Beautiful countries, very friendly people. Okay, so yeah, let's stop this live stream here, and yeah, see you next week. All the best.十里山路，200斤麦子，头上宽衣，和二个头吃包子。十里山路，200斤麦子，头上宽衣，和二个头吃包子。别看你今天闹得欢，小心今后来清淡。和二个头吃包子。
且我村里有个村霸，他名字叫崔。